So we started the program reading selections from that book, and then, we discussed, over and over again with all the kids and everything, what, how it relates to their own lives. And then they started writing themselves. Everything that you're going to see tonight is stuff that they've written themselves. And then it all came together into a performance piece that you're going to see here tonight.
So over 12 weeks, we studied, we saw how children in history have made a change and have been powerful people who can make a difference. And then that inspired our young people to say, we are powerful and we can make a difference. And not only will they turn it into a play, but they turn it into a book. And they are all authors, published authors, and they are going to be using, some of them, their books, and the specific books that they will touch in their hands, they will autograph for you, and it'll be for sale at the end of the performance. So that local writers and performers right here, and they'll all, you can get signed, autographed copies by our talented youth here to the right.
And some of them will be on book tonight, just because it's been a month since we last did the performance. And at that time, when we were introducing the play back then, we performed at the Y and at the Morris Jamel Mansion. We were talking about how, and the next thing we want to do is maybe try and, work with NoMAA and Vantage to make a bookstore. And then now we're doing it in the bookstores. That's pretty cool.
Which is amazing, because this is a play by the people, for the people. And this one is mainly in English. The next one, our next Voices program, the program is called Voices. And it just so happened that these group of kids were more comfortable in English. But all of our programs, People's Theater Project, are bilingual. So we encourage you to join our programs. And if you're adults, we have a program for adults. If you're seniors, we have a program for seniors. If you're children, we have a program for children. So come work. It's all about, for us, it's about using theater as a vehicle to empower our community. So this is just the first of many things.
And if you like what you see here tonight on stage and in the rest of the shop, then sign up on the mailing list, volunteer. Just come back again and again and check out. Every day there's new boxes arriving of books from different presses and different local authors. Everything in the middle table there is all presses and authors who are from the neighborhood, from above 155th Street up till Harlem River Drive, Riverside, and just that just one fraction of what comes out of our literary community up here. And I know there's more. So if you too are an author and want to do an event here, or do reading, or just start to...
My child. His name is Leon.
He's ready.
Then come back. It's this shop is only open for the moment for 1 month, till July 14. It's a pop-up bookshop because it's temporary. The space has been generously donated by Vantage Residential for 1 month. And with a lot of, all the sponsorship and everything's been done with Northern Manhattan Arts Alliance and Vantage. So there's, reason why we have this space. We do want to keep it open for longer than a month. So the more support that you can show in all the different ways that you can, I think can help make that happen.
So without further ado, we present Digging.
Opinions should be heard loud and clear.
Everything we
It's good because you feel better than other people.
I mean, no guy wants to see the girls sweatpants, no makeup on, and hair undone. They want them all dolled up. Everything we need comes from nature.
We all are beautiful, strong, and perfect, just the way we are.
New York City, this wonderful melting pot of cultures, races, sexualities, and religions, has been all I've ever known. New York has always been my home, and even when I move one day, I know it will remain in my heart. New York has also given me my greatest knowledge. There are some things that you are taught by teachers, but the absolute best lessons you learn on your own. To me, living in New York City has been like going to school 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But one time a year, I stop, take a break, sit down, and take part in the Passover Seder. We eat when we are told, drink wine, okay, you call me grape juice, and remember a time in our past when we were enslaved. We're supposed to open our doors and welcome in the hungry and the sad and the lost, and let them join us in feast and celebration. Let us feast tonight, and welcome to an evening of our voices.
My friend, who was minding his own business, was walking late to school. A cop stopped him and asked him why he wasn't in school. My friend told the officer that the train services were slow, as usual, in New York City. So the cop didn't believe his story. The cop didn't believe his story. The cop searched him, and searched him, only to find nothing. Why did the cop stop him? Because he was Latino? The officer was Caucasian. In other words, white. 2 other students from another school was walking as late as my friend. The officer didn't make an effort to stop and approach these 2 African-American males. This is so unjust to the fullest. No boy or girl should be unequal in how they should be treated. Fear should be in our hearts. The officer just treated my friend like he was lower than anything in our society and assumed that he was up to something. But the 2 other guys down the block just committed a come up, in other words, a burglary up the block 10 minutes early. No one speaks up in this room. We need to be heard.
Around 4 p.m. on March 2nd, 1955, 9 months before 42-year-old Rosa Parks did it, 15-year-old Claudette Colvin asserted her constitutional right to a seat on a segregated bus in Montgomery, Alabama, helping to jumpstart the civil rights movement, confronting jeers, shoves, and insults from the white passengers and the 2 police officers who arrested her. She was charged with disorderly conduct, assaulting an officer, and violating the segregation laws. This is her voice, meaning ours.
Dear Claudette Colvin, I was very inspired by what you have done. Dear Romy, if you were a Marshall School child, very brave of you. I wouldn't be able to do something like that. Fighting for your own right, doing everything you can to make a difference. Were you scared when you did it? What exactly was going through your mind? I'm not sure the emotion I felt in that moment. They were all just rolling around. If I was in your position, I would be scared, freaking out. You're right, anyone in my position would be freaking out. Were you nervous when they stared at you? So many things were going through my mind. For example, what should I do or say? If there would be anything from that moment you would change, what would it be? I wouldn't change anything from that moment. Were you planning to do anything when the white man said, "Hey, I'm going to call the police on you"? When they all stared at me, I didn't know what to say, Lola. What would I do if I was sitting next to My decision was something probably no one at H15 will be able to do.
I will support you, help you.
Even if I have to go through as much trouble.
Thank you.
I wish you would be there. It'd be nice to have someone on my side.
Can I ask you why you did it?
I just came from out of school, so you know, I wanted to relax and sit down. But I couldn't even have one day without someone around me.
Wow.
They might treat you one way, but really we are all equal, no matter black, white, pink, or anything. When the white man said that to me, I said to myself, go ahead, I'm not afraid.
I know you made the right decision.
Yeah, surprised, I really have as much publicity as was a part. I mean, I was way younger, and no one appreciated my work. Well, not just like that, no girl or anything. But anything can happen. Life is what you make it. Anyway, I hope someone will remember my story.
You can count on me.
So let me share something with you. Do you know about racism? Racism is not a pretty sight. You see a child and a lady get spit on, treated like they're trash because the color's like ash. The truth is, we're all awesome in pretty awesome ways. Hey, doesn't that mean that we're all equal to each other? That's the right way.
Shy, ethereal, and peaceful, 15-year-old boy named John put a crucial legal battle on behalf of civil rights during the height of the Vietnam War, the period between 1965 and 1968, when the country was in uproar. John, his sister Mary Beth, and their friend Chris were all expelled from school when they wore armbands protesting the war. These are their voices.
Dear John, when were you afraid to fight for what you believe, right?
Why did you do what you did?
What was it like?
What did you feel?
I'll be very happy to fight for what I do what's right, but at the same time, I'll be freaking out.
Did you give up?
First, I wanted to say that I was afraid something bad would happen because I choose my school. It was important to fight for what I thought was right because I didn't like the fact that people were being killed. I was very afraid of people just actually getting killed. Just the sight of it. I felt really, really scared in the Supreme Court. I didn't know who was going to win the battle. But when they said it was 7-2, I was so happy that we won our case. Either way, I didn't give up. I did what I thought was right. I had Mary and Chris by my side. But just because we won our case, it doesn't mean people are not being killed.
You could say my story began when I was expelled from school at the ripe old age of 13. Now, before you go and judge me and think I was a bad kid, I want to set something straight. I was expelled for protesting a war. A cruel, unjust, evil war. And I did it with my friend and my brother, silently, without disrupting everyday routine. You know, honestly, it was all my brother John's idea. He was 15 at the time, and I looked up to him. If he wanted to protest, then I wanted to protest. If he wanted to wear anti-war armbands, then I sure as heck wanted to as well. Unfortunately, the adults in Des Moines didn't know John like I did. To them, he was a bringer of chaos, and I was merely his henchman, girl, person. You get the idea. We were expelled from school, so we took the armbands off. In my mind, this whole thing was over. In my mind, armbands equaled expulsion, which equaled something I was completely against. In my mind, it's all over. Fortunately, John didn't see it like that. Poor John, he saw the whole armband debacle as a failure, but instead of giving up, he did something I bet students everywhere wish they could do. He sued the school. It took a while. Court case after court case after court case. It was long and tiring, And whenever I thought John would just give up, accept defeat, he surprised me by standing tall against the officials. All that time, I didn't know what was going through his mind, but now I do. He knew that this was no longer about the war. No, that's wrong. It was about war. Just not the Vietnam War. His new war, our new war, was against those who denied students, citizens, of their rights laid out for them by the Constitution of this country. When we won, John was barely still a student, but that didn't sour our sweet, sweet victory, because he knew something that I didn't. He knew that even though he himself didn't win, in a way we all did. Just like how this story isn't mine, that court case wasn't just his.
Lots of new friends, and best of all, I could go out for lunch. It happened in the boys' locker room, one of our rare chances. I guess someone made a dumb joke or said something vaguely stupid, but that other kid's reaction was awful. Dude, don't be such a fucking faggot, he said. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was that he laughed. Almost everyone laughed. I didn't know what to do. I told myself I wouldn't speak to him ever again, but I couldn't keep it up, and I guess in my head, I forgave him. I wish I'd screamed or told someone or even punched him in the gut, but I couldn't or wouldn't, and I can never forget that.
A shooter happened. A 17-year-old boy chased a 22-year-old who got shot in the leg, another girl who got shot in the head, and one who is still held in the hospital. Matt, can you please tell me how you feel about this in the neighborhood?
If I was there, I would try to take people away from getting killed or even hurt. I won't be able to stop the guy, but at least I will be able to stop people from getting hurt.
Thank you, Matt. And you, Matt?
I found out through a couple of friends who were there and saw everything. Both girls who got hurt had nothing to do with it. Everyone was just coming out of school, or you just hear gunshots and people screaming and panicking. Both girls, they didn't expect something like this to happen. A 17-year-old boy got caught. The girls are still held out in the hospital.
Hey, Matt, I didn't speak with you.
One day, I was in my mom's room, and I heard a lot of people screaming.
Yeah!
So I looked out my window, and I saw a lot of people going towards this one guy, just to hurt this one guy, with bats, guns, and knives. I would call the police, but the police, there's a camera on Friday, so the police came fast and checked what happened. I wonder, why would they do that, and what happened? Decade of the 20th century, over 2 million American children below the age of 16 were among this country's full-time workers, many working 12 or 15 hours a day. Canneries in Mississippi employ children as young as 3 years old to peel shrimp. Small girls toil in North Carolina cotton mills, spinning cotton. In Pennsylvania, thousands of 14 and 15-year-old boys were employed as miners, coal breakers, or slave pickers. Many of them suffering chronic coughs from the cold months. These are their voices.
Working all day. The sweat dripping down my clothes.
Just another day at the job.
Some kid says, it's horrible to work. I say it's what you suffer for, but that makes success taste much better. But I'm off to work. Let's see how this day goes. Day 7. I've been coughing up a storm. Oh my God. My chest is tight. And it gets worse and worse every day. There's clouds of soot everywhere, and sometimes I can't see what I'm doing. I screw up the assembly line, and I get everyone off their task.
What are you trying to
Look
do?
at me. Come on.
As long as I get my cents worth of pay, I'm okay. Day by day, my own health is getting worse. Seems like every day I live will be my last. Little old Chris was laid off because of condition with his breathing. My family is worried about my health, but employers don't care as long as I get my work done. My back is a pain in the arse. Oh. And sometimes, when I go to bed, I cry. I even cry in my sleep. I can't take the pain. The pain of my body. The pain of working. The pain of not having the rights I need to have. Maybe the money isn't worth all this torture I'm getting. I'm having second thoughts about leaving my job and rioting for what's right. May my Father bless me with another day without pain, sleepless nights, and heartbreak.
My friend, get up! The National Labor Committee has composed the Declaration of Independence. By and behalf of the children of America, you are free! We are free! We declare that childhood is endowed with certain inherent and inalienable rights,
among which are the freedom to toil for daily bread,
the right to play and dream,
The right to sleep.
the right to an education,
That we may have equal opportunity for developing a soul and mind and heart.
we demand the restoration of our rights and the abolition of child labor in America and the rest of the world.
Yeah.
I was walking in the hall, and I saw these kids making fun of this obese person. They said mean and cruel things to him, like, "You're so fat, you're the reason the earthquake happened," or "You're so fat, I bet you copy from your mom." It really hurt him. He broke down in tears. If I ever see that again, I would go to the person and I would help that person defend himself. It's a hard knock life.
My street is loud and green and cheery. There are tons of small trees and large plants on the sidewalk. They create a mini forest full of small birds, squirrels, and other small animals.
My street is tough and rough, and the neighbors are sometimes nice.
My street is very cool. There are stores everywhere and these tall buildings. There are churches, clothes, and more. If you cross the road, you immediately arrive in Bennett Park, where babies, children, and teenagers play or hang out throughout the day and well into the night.
A lot of bad things happen on my street that a child should have seen.
My neighbors are weird and fun. We party, we play, we laugh. On my street, there's fights and fires and parties everywhere. The birds are constantly chirping on my street, and the smell of spring flowers wafts through the air.
It sounds like a bunch of hoodlums gambling, listening to music, and smoking on my street.
In my street, people are really loud. My street looks nice on the inside and ghetto on the outside. You can't walk down it without someone saying hi or waving. Everyone feels like a neighbor, even if you've never met them before.
I wish my street was less violent and abusive.
Winter on my street isn't so nice, though. Puddles accumulate, the trees look naked, and the breeze is cold and bites. Despite this, you can tell that winter is over when you hear the cheers and screams of delight from the park for the first time, usually in late March. I wish my street was less dangerous, and that in the 4th of July, they'll let me see.
But I love my street because there's friendly people, like the people working on the laundromat and the people working on the bodega.
I love my street for all the life it produces and how it's impossible to walk down it without feeling happy.
I love my street because we're like a family. My street is very cool.
It's my street.
It started with an innocent tease between giggles. As the laughter was dying out came the words,
Sally, you're such a whore.
the vocabulary sounded bad, but it was funny to the two girls because it was so ridiculous. Unfortunately, that title spread like wildfire. Girls, some of whom she didn't even know, were mocking her. But, it was never said in a serious manner. That is until it was.
Whore, slut.
Echoed her every move. Oh, Sally is sitting with Tom, that whore. It hurt her, but she said nothing. Maybe she thought the mocks would die out, or maybe she honestly didn't care. But if it's one thing that I learned, it's that if you let girls call you a slut, boys will do so as well. The boys would sit with her and insult her. It was once a word became a lifestyle, and the words multiplied until it wasn't just whore and slut. Along the way came fat,
Stupid.
weak. Oh, weak was the worst. She drooped. The giggly girl was no more. She became really sad. Now, this is where I come in. I used to sit there, and I heard the things they called her. I saw the way they treated her, and it was enough, and I tried to tell them that.
Sally's so stupid.
Shut up, you know she isn't.
She's with this kid.
It infuriated me. Everything I did, they had to come back for. Everything I said, they countered. Meanwhile, I saw from afar as Sally got worse and worse. But one day, I got up and I comforted her. And I realized that by doing this, I could help her. Being her friend was enough. This was enough.
We one big fam, we don't need to separate from each other. We need to sit together and love one another. Just because we black, or white, doesn't mean we gotta fight. We cool, we aight. We one big family.
Young doesn't mean I'm not powerful.
Inspireful. Learning the mistakes
of the real children.
Such the stakes.
A war and battle.
Preach and rattle.
but fight for the rights,
for the laws,
to be amended,
for equal fairness,
for ultimate awareness
of everything that's messed up.
So fess up.
You know it's true.
So dig it.
Swig it.
From the bottle that fed us,
Said to us.
That happily ever after.
Come true.
So make true.
The stories that it told us
of peace and full solutions,
the end of all pollution.
So dig it.
Children aren't fools.
We live it.
Our brains work like sponges.
observe it, at least you say.
So give it.
To us, respect.
Believe it.
We are the future.
So do care. The bias because we're young, we're stupid.
Don't buy it.
We're powerful.
We're meaningful.
So dig it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone, Will and Tim are band. And since it's a bookstore, oh yes, And we're here, and I know it's really hot, but if you have any questions for the writers, actors, performers, and everything, you guys can come up. We can do a little bit of a talk back. And also, we would love to keep you informed of programs like this and events like this. And all of our programs are either free or pay what you can, performances as well. We'll have a mailing list up in the front. Please, oh, it's right there. That's Bob, the co-executive director of PTP. Please fill it, and we will send you updates and let you know what we're doing. So maybe we'll start by introducing yourself. So say your name, and then we'll go down the list.
My name is Alicea Hernandez.
And you can tell us. Okay, yeah, good. Alicea Hernandez, a little louder so everyone can hear.
My name is Alicea Hernandez.
My name is Sophia Arnold.
My name is Bromi Garcia. I'm Ben Edelman.
My name is Angel Swazo.
I forgot my name. Oh, Angel Martinez.
So does anybody have any questions for any of our... Yes?
I'm curious to know how old everybody is and what you aspire to be when you grow up. Because I think all of you have the potential to be in theater someday. So I would love to hear a dream or aspiration.
Okay, we'll start by over there this time. So your age and what you aspire to be.
Well, I'm 17. I just turned 17 last month. I aspire to be an actor. I mean, this is what I do, this is what I love. And, you know, when I get to the top, I just want to reach, you know, every little kid's hearts. Like, I don't know how to say it right, but let's just say I just want to be heard.
Yeah.
I'm 13, and what I'm inspired is to be an actor like my brother introduced me.
Loud, loud, loud.
And I would also like if my acting career didn't go as well as I think it would, I would also want to be a police officer.
I'm almost 13. I have no idea what I would do. Maybe an actor?
You don't have to.
Yeah. 23, I don't know yet.
Yeah, you don't need to know.
I'm 13 and I want to be an actress and singer. I don't really know how to explain it. It's my passion. I love it.
I'm 15 and I love acting, but I think I'm really into history, and I think it would be really cool to be an archaeologist, just to like see the world and see what the past can teach us.
I'm 12 and what I like to do is dancing. I love to do like beauty and everything, and I like acting. And the one that inspired me is my parents and my family, because they all love to dance.
Los que me inspiran son muy padres. Porque a ella todavía le encanta bailar y a ella le encanta bailar. Any other questions? Thoughts? Comments? Yes?
Yeah, your play had a lot of social content. And I'm wondering how, at such an early age, you guys seem to be so politically aware. Can anybody tackle that question?
Ben? Jelly?
Computer. Well, yeah, I think that's a reasonable answer. I mean, we have so much information that we have that we're able to get just at our fingertips, and I think like seeing the rest of the world, even if it's just from a computer screen, can really open your eyes.
Okay, but just to elaborate, you could have chose to write a play about singing and dancing, being in a beauty contest. You could have wrote a play about running away and joining the circus.
We may have influenced a little bit in the curriculum. But yes.
But as like we know like it's now, but we need to know about what happened like in the history.
To learn.
Yeah.
And I think something that's important is all of these young people live in our community or from the Bronx or really close to our community. And like the piece My Street, through the three actors, we had a little moment of reflection of Write About Your Street. And those are 3 streets in Washington Heights, and the experiences are very different. So then as the dramaturge or whatever, we put them together. Right? But those are all right here in our community. So I think because there is such disparity and there is such difference between one block and another, as is New York, there's a lot of things we can see that I may have, that my friends may not have. There's a park in my street, there may not be a park next to my neighbor's street or my best friend's street. So or a safe street to be in and hang out and barbecue. So I think just being among each other, and none of them knew each other before the program, then they all became inseparable. So this is a little reunion. They haven't seen each other in a month. So I think that's part of it, just being aware and getting to know our community and one another. Ben or Romy?
I guess we got inspired by the book we read, Howard Zinn, Young People's History, and things that happen in our lives and things that make us, read it.
Yeah.
And things that used to make us answer, and that's how I guess we came out to write this thing.
So please sign our mailing list. They will be around. The books are only $5 and they help support programs like this. And they help Veronica's and our whole Word Up community store. So, and they can sign it. They've done this in every other performance. They sit down and they sign your books, autograph. So thank you again for coming. Thank you.
All right, folks, just a quick announcement.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Here. A couple little, please be mindful, we only have so much time.